Hello everybody, my name is Austin, and this is another review for a really popular anime known as My Hero Academia, but it's specifically about the Two Heroes movie that came out a couple of years ago. Now, yes, I know I haven't uploaded a video in a while, but let's hope I can start a consistent schedule for once. Now, with this, I was very hesitant going in on the movie because I heard mixed things about it, but actually watching the movie, I can safely say it is a decent anime movie. Essentially what this movie is about is it's about Izuku Midoriya and his trainer slash teacher All Might. They both go to this island where all these professors and smart people live, but also it's a good place to go on vacation. They go there, and of course, as every movie that has come out and every episode that's come out, there's always a villain there to ruin it. Now, overall, it is a decent story. I'm going to review this in 3 acts, Act 1, 2, and 3, 1 being the beginning, 2 being the middle, and 3 being the end, of course. Now, my main issue with the movie is Act 1. Act 1 suffers from something that I like to call anime syndrome. Anime syndrome is what happens when there is something that is it's hard to explain. But I'll explain it for this case scenario. Now, where this movie has anime syndrome is where the jokes are cringy and the story has really bad writing, like terrible writing. Which I don't know who is in charge of all that, but I'll explain it more as I go on. This will be a spoiler-free review. Of course. But if you don't know already, I love My Hero. I have seen the entirety of the show. I have seen this movie. I still need to watch Heroes Rising. I have played both and beat both of the games. I love My Hero. I think it's great, you know. I have my tons of issues with it, but this movie is boiled down to my issues with the anime. The jokes and the writing. So the jokes in here, of course, it is just terrible. The same thing, like, oh, pretty person, nosebleed, that kind of jazz. I hate that humor. I hate it so much. I don't like it. I don't know why. I just don't like it. But the other issue is the bad writing. Is this movie, the way they explain why everyone is on this island is super stupid. Okay. Here is my idea what I would have done. The kids are going on a summer vacation funded by the school because it would be good for them to get out after all the trauma they have been through. That, for me, is what they should have done. But instead, they are all there coincidentally, and they're all there, and only the important ones are involved with the fighting, but even then with that, you could have just... I just have so many issues with that part. Like, why are they there just coincidentally? Like, why? Why not just say that they're on a field trip paid by the school, and that there is only a party that the best students can go to because they were specifically invited to, and they can each have 1+1. That would make tons of sense. You have the top 3, give them each a +1, and then, you know, like, just something like that. Or +2 them, they have a +2. Something like that. You easily could have done that, and they didn't at all. They're just there coincidentally. Apparently every student decides to go on that place for vacation, coincidentally, because that's just the hot spot that came up out of nowhere. It just makes no sense to me. But Act 1 suffers from that heavily. Just terrible writing. Not that bad, but it's pretty bad. And of course you have to go through the introduction phases of the characters, like, oh, Deku, why are you here? No two people can vacation at the same spot, even though this is stupidly coincidental. We can still not communicate and be at the same spot at once. This is stupid. And of course, you have your Ida and your Araka and your... The writing was so bad in this, guys. I don't know why it's so bad. I really don't. Anywho, Act 2. Oh, I should mention this. There are 2 new characters that are heavily introduced. We have David, which is a friend of All Might's from the past. David is an inventor who has no quirk. Alright? And then we have another character named Melissa, who is David's daughter, who is also quirkless, and also wants to be a really famous inventor, like her father. That's the 2 characters. That's kind of all they do. That's just them. David is more of a character than Melissa. But still, point is. um, Now, in Act 2, it's very boring. Because Act 2 is when the villains take over. It's incredibly boring. It's my issue that I have with My Hero. Cool arcs, cool fight scenes, but the things leading up to the fight scenes and all that are super boring. They don't interest you at all. I normally try to stay off my phone during movies so I can actually watch it, but I had to check the time multiple times, and it was just going by so slow because it's just it was super slow. Not bad jokes, not bad writing or nothing like that. It was just really slow. Just no reason, you know. And then Act 3. Now, Act 3 was interesting because it's the favorite part of the movie. But it was so good, it didn't belong in the movie itself, if that made sense. Like, it didn't belong in it at all. Which I thought was really interesting, because why would they do that? Why would that, why is the ending part so good? Like, I just don't understand it. But the animation in the final fight is fucking insane. It's so beautiful, and it's so just great. And honestly, it's my favorite part of the movie. The final fight is like the best part of the movie. I'm not gonna, of course, not gonna spoil it. There is a twist in it. I saw it coming from a mile away. Another thing chopped out to bad writing. Like, there's like 2 twists in the movie. There's one before the final fight, and there's one during the final fight, and they're both predictable and boring and kind of stupid, to be completely honest. And then the characters' motives, like the villains' motives, the main villains' motives are really, really interesting, and not interesting, kind of hollow and shallow and very boring and stupid and predictable, but it's interesting for the movie itself, like why they chose to go this route. Because if you don't know, I believe this movie takes place between Season 1 and Season 2, I think. That's what it seems like, because this movie is to show Deku how he... Essentially, the point of this movie is to show how strong Deku's becoming. That's the point of the movie, that's the only reason why it's being made, it's for him. It's for him, but there's also a slight origin story for All Might that's even better. I feel like this movie really wanted to be an All Might origin story. I would love that. Can we please get an All Might origin story movie where he first becomes, first gets the quirk, shows him training, and then has him, the ending of the movie essentially, it's like a time lapse, between the middle of him training, and it ends with him doing that really famous fight where he got the huge scar in the side of his body. I know we know how it happens, but I would love to see it happen. And I think it would lend itself to some really cool action scenes, and it'd be something new that we haven't seen, a prequel to the show. And then of course we get new, quirk users, new heroes around. You have Cow Lady in the beginning, who's an American hero, who is from Texas, I believe. We get some of that, beautiful. We get some young All Might, we get him and David, they're doing their thing, and all that. There's just so much love for young All Might that we don't really get in normal My Hero, So it's like very heavily hinted at that they wanted to do an All Might origin story, which they should. I would love to see it. I'd pay money. Hell, even if it was a whole spin-off TV show, I would still pay money for that. That sounds amazing, But it's not, so it's not. Now, all in all, I have my issues with this movie. I have, quite a bit. Just because the beginning is so terrible and low-key kind of unwatchable, and I hate it so much. But it's worth it. It's worth it. Get past the beginning. Get past, the first 20 minutes. And it'll be worth it. Trust me. 20, 30 minutes. Just get past that, and it'll be totally worth it. But after that, I just have so many issues with the beginning. It's so bad. It really turned me off to this entire movie. But the ending is what... Because there are some interesting story elements in the middle of it. Really interesting. Oh, okay. Huh, it explains why All Might can't take out all of these powers. That doesn't make any sense. Why All Might can't just use his quirk to take out all these enemies like that, it explains that really well. And it gives a sort of threat to the situation of what's going on this island. But no, it's super good. If you love My Hero, you'll love this movie, okay? Trust me, you'll love this movie. All in all, I probably give it a, on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, I give it a solid 8.5. Maybe an 8 to 8.5 is what I give it. It could have been better. It really could have. The animation also goes without saying, it's beautiful. The animation in the anime is already stunning as it is, and then put that with a bigger budget into a movie, it's mind-blowing. It's great. It's phenomenal. Now, I did have a couple problems with the animation. There was too much going on, and I couldn't see, like, there's a fight scene with All Might. It's not spoiler. There's gonna be a fight scene with All Might where he's running and the villain is shooting something out, you know, from his hands and whatnot, and All Might kind of just like disappears, disappears from something, and then he punches a rock and he disappears, and like you can't see where he's going, which I don't know if that's the point of it, to show how fast All Might is, or that's just like too much going on at once. But anywho, it was still cool. It was still a badass fight scene. But you know, all in all, I give it an 8.8, you know, 8.5, you know, good 4.5 stars, maybe, you know, 3.5 stars I'd give it. So yeah, that was my review for My Hero, 2 Hero. Sorry about that, I had to go do something, but all in all, it was a good movie. If you're a fan of My Hero, you'll love this. You know, those are my biggest issues, my biggest little, you know, things, you know, little nitpicky, kind of, not really, but actually pretty big issues. But, like I said, if you're a fan of My Hero, you'll love this. And again, or not even again, stating this for the record, I am sorry I have been gone for so long. I have been debating what I want to do with this channel. I've been talking with my partner, what I want to do with this, and I think I finally come up with exactly what I want to do with this channel. I'm going to keep it a secret just because I would prefer it that way. But I have something that I'm really excited to show you guys soon. I'm going to be working on something really cool, and I hope you guys really, really, really like it. Of course, I just need to get a couple things, and then I'll be ready. I'll be ready to. All I need to do is get a stand for my phone so I can record myself. So that will be a hint as to what I am doing. But still, you know, thank you guys for watching so much. You know, if you liked the video, please leave a like. If you completely disagree with me at all with anything I've said, please comment down below. Tell me your opinions. I want to hear them greatly. Tell me everything you have to say about this movie and, you know, about My Hero or any of your opinions. And definitely give me more anime suggestions. I already have Naruto and Dragon Ball Z on my list. Watching a little bit of Dragon Ball Z at the time, but, you know, still. So please, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys know every time I upload. And again, sorry for being on for so long, but I promise you, I will try to be better at that. I have another review for another thing coming out, maybe Parasite, I don't know, maybe another horror movie, I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Be safe, be kind, be happy. Bye-bye.